Hello, my name is Lisa Acuff, and I'm the Health Sciences Librarian at Harding University. Today, I'm going to demonstrate how I read and interpret medical literature. But first things first, why even bother reading medical literature? As health professionals, we're already very busy and pulled in many directions. However, it's important to read scientific articles so we can apply new information to meet our patients' needs. Now, when I say medical literature, I mean scientific journals and articles. Before I begin reading, first I must decide what to read. There are over 2 million biomedical articles published every year, so I can't possibly read them all. Therefore, I start with the journal most relevant to my area and one that has a solid reputation. Journals with high impact factors are good places to start because they're highly cited. Today, I'm going to read an article from the New England Journal of Medicine. This is one of the top journals in the medical community. After I pick a journal, I identify interesting articles by their titles and abstracts. I also take a quick look at the tables and figures, and then I pick an article to read. Now, I'll demonstrate some techniques for reading and interpreting an article called A Randomized Controlled Trial of 3 milligrams of liraglutide in Weight Management, published in 2016 in the New England Journal of Medicine. There are many questions I ask myself when reading. These questions came from a textbook called Research and Medical Literature for Health Professionals. It's a very handy reference. First, I consider the source of the article. What is the reputation of the journal? As I mentioned earlier, the New England Journal of Medicine is one of the top journals in the medical community, and it has a high impact factor. This means that articles in this journal are often cited by other researchers. Second, I ask if articles in this journal are peer-reviewed. The answer to this question is yes for the New England Journal of Medicine. Peer review means that manuscripts are critiqued by other experts before being published. Third, I consider the authors. Who are the authors, and what are their affiliations? I find the authors listed below the title. I notice there are many authors for this article, and most of them have MDs. This might mean that the research interpretations reflect a clinical mindset. At the end of the author list, I learn that the authors are part of an obesity study group. And at the end of the abstract, I read that Novo Nordisk funded the research. Now, I want to learn more about Novo Nordisk, so I look it up on Google. And I learn that it's a diabetes healthcare company that produces products and conducts research. Liraglutide, mentioned in the article's title, is one drug produced by this company. I learned this by looking the drug up in a research database called Lexicomp. I'm going to keep this in mind as I read on, because Novo Nordisk could have a vested interest in the research results. Moving right along. Fourth, I ask, what is the main subject or topic of the study? I can learn this either from the abstract or from the short introduction. I see that the study is about liraglutide. Fifth, I think about the research problem. What problem was studied? I read the introduction and I learn that obesity is increasing and this has health consequences. The research reported in this article addresses the problem by looking at liraglutide for weight management. Sixth, I consider the purpose or rationale for the study. The final sentence in the introduction states the aim: to evaluate the efficacy and safety of liraglutide for weight management in overweight or obese adults without diabetes. Okay, now I take a breath before moving on to the methods section. Sometimes I find it helpful to stand up and walk around.